Hello and welcome. My name's Rebecca and today I want to talk about broccoli. On my channel and in my videos, I'm trying to encourage you to consider growing your own food. But when it comes to broccoli, there's a few things you should know if you want to grow it in your backyard garden. As with a lot of vegetables that are sold in the grocery store, broccoli is not very suitable for a small backyard garden. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the alternatives to broccoli that are just as good and more productive that you could grow in the small backyard garden. I'm also going to talk about how to buy broccoli in the grocery store so that you can have stores of broccoli without wasting your garden space. So why am I saying that heading broccoli is not really suitable for the backyard garden? Well, it takes 1 square foot of space to grow 1 head of broccoli. When you eat broccoli, it's actually the immature flower of the broccoli plant. It's also quite a difficult crop to grow. If you don't plant it at exactly the right time and get it to flower at the right time, you might be left with a teeny tiny floret and you've wasted a whole season to grow it. So in my first year of winter gardening, I tried to grow broccoli and I accidentally brought the wrong seeds. I brought sprouting broccoli, Italian sprouting broccoli seeds. So while I was waiting for the broccoli head to get bigger, it just went ahead and flowered. And I wasted all that time, but I did get a bunch of seeds. This year, when I went to plant my garden, I bought the correct seeds, and it was an F1 hybrid, and I did have a little bitch about there not being very many seeds in there. There was about 20 seeds. Alright, so this was the Zen broccoli. That is all the seeds I got in there. And it's a D, which means it would have been $5, because it's organic. So let's pray these guys come up. And I probably have about 40 square meter spaces that I could grow things in. So I planted about 4 broccolis, the rest were cauliflowers and kohlrabis and all other things. And I got about a medium-sized head off them. I also had a volunteer sprouting broccoli from last year, and I decided to leave it in. Otherwise, I would not have tried the sprouting broccoli again. But while it was growing, I thought I'm going to pick it correctly. When it flowers, I pick up each floret. And I'm so glad I did because I got so much food off that one plant. It was just insane. And it was delicious. So the sprouting broccoli you can get in a green form and a purple. And as it sprouts, as I said, you pick off the florets and then more sprouts grow. So the more you pick, the more you get. And I got about 6 picks off it. I froze some and I ate some fresh. The fresh does taste a lot better, but the frozen was okay as well. When you go to the supermarket and you see the broccolini, that is the sprouting broccoli. The broccolini might also be the sprouts of kale plants. I'm not quite sure, but I have a sneaking suspicion that they're actually kale. And the broccolini, when you go to the supermarket, is so expensive. One little bunch is about, well, it ranges from $2 when it's in season to $4 at the moment. And I probably got 3 bunches a day off of that plant for 6 picks. So today when I went to the supermarket, I saw broccoli for sale. And at the moment, it's only $2.50 a kilo. Sometimes, or most of the time, it's $4.50. So while it was half price, and as I normally say in my videos when I compare supermarket to homegrown, I'll say I wasted my money. But today, I did not waste my money. I got 12 heads of broccoli for $14.78. And I'm just going to chop up the florets and put them straight in the freezer. A lot of people blanch them. I don't worry about it. You don't need to. Just chuck them in the freezer and cook them straight out of the freezer. I don't blanch anything. Do they have pesticides on them? Probably. Could I grow broccoli heads that big at home? I don't think so. There's certain things that are just really difficult to grow, or even just for yourself, you find them difficult to grow. Potatoes are one of those for me. I've talked about that in my sunflower video, but I am giving potatoes another go. A lot of the times you need to give different varieties of things a go. For example, between the broccoli heading and the sprouting broccolis. I'm also going to try some kale, let it flower and see how that goes as well. I really don't like kale leaves, but hopefully I can find somebody who does and give them the leaves and I'll just take the flowers. I do think that cauliflower is worth growing at home. The cauliflower that's in the supermarket is not fresh. It's beginning to brown. It's very expensive. It's always $4 each or $3 for a tiny little half. Even in the supermarket, the heads of cauliflower are not always large. So you need to look at the freshness of the food as well. The broccoli looked perfect. It was very fresh, very large. I successfully grew cauliflower this season, especially a purple cauliflower, and I realized that I just need to make adjustments to my timing. I grew a really large purple cauliflower that I planted mid-March, and for a long time it looked terrible. It didn't do anything, and then once the weather got cooler around May and I put some vermicompost on it, it really took off. But I've realized that the cauliflowers and broccoli need to flower and finish flowering before the 1st of August for my climate on the Gold Coast. And it was perfectly timed. It flowered and finished flowering. I got that big head off it before August, just before August the 1st. And I couldn't have asked for more. I was really happy with that for 1 square foot. So I'm definitely going to do the cauliflowers again. I will also do the Romanesco broccoli, and it really is more of a cauliflower than it is a broccoli. The way it grows, its leaves, it's very large. So I'm definitely going to renovate the top of our retaining wall, and all of that space I'm just going to do purple cauliflower and the Romanesco broccoli for next year. And then in the front, I'm going to do all sprouting broccoli. And that way it's in the front and I can pick it every single day. What we can't eat fresh, I'm going to freeze and hopefully freeze enough to last us quite a few months all the way to the next season. The purple cauliflowers seem to be better than the whites, and when you cook the purple cauliflowers, they go perfectly white. Whereas if you do not blanch the white cauliflower, then they kind of go yellow outside, and then when you cook them they don't really go white, they stay like a browny yellowy color. So purple, it looks beautiful when you pick it fresh, and then when you cook it it turns bright white. So that's definitely the one that I'm going to go for next year. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope you've learnt something, and I look forward to showing you my next winter garden where I plant both varieties of purple and green Italian sprouting broccoli, and we check out how the kale goes for flowers as well.